Hi, it's me, Kat, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time and talk to you tonight about safe words. I think safe words are important in any BDSM relationship, even if it is only online, because even though you're online and you have less dangers of being physically injured, you can be seriously emotionally injured. You can be just totally at that place where it's too much. Your master and your dom do not read minds, and there's no, little meter that you can download that says, beep, 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 sub is on overload, sub's in the danger zone, that kind of thing. So I think it's really important to have a safe word. I have a safe word. I've never not had a safe word. I've never had a master that didn't want me to have a safe word. I know online I hear a lot of masters say that if you're truly a slave, that you don't need a safe word, that you have no choices, that you have no control, that and it doesn't matter if you're hurt or not, that they have the total control over you. Well, in this day and age, even everyone has some control. BDSM is a voluntary activity between two people. It's illegal to have slaves. Slavery was abolished. It's totally illegal. A lot of BDSM activities are illegal. And when we go into relationships, we are going in on a voluntary basis. We're willing. I am willingly submitting to my master. I am willingly giving him that control. And we don't live in a third world country where someone can grab you off the street and forcibly against your will make you a slave, and you can be totally and completely controlled and dominated. It makes a nice fantasy, but personally I don't think I would want to live it. I would not want to have a master that didn't care about me, that didn't care about my well-being, that wasn't concerned, am I okay, that didn't want me to grow, that just wanted me to be an automaton where I didn't think and I only did as I was told. And my master enjoys conversing with me. I make him laugh. If I was a yes master slave, like everything he said, I said yes master, yes master, yes master, and jumped to do it, and never displayed any personality or originality or thoughts, or never did anything spontaneously or on my own, but just only did what he told me to, he will be bored stiff, like in a week, if that. He'd probably, well, actually, I know he would beat me if I did that, because I did it once to annoy him, and it worked. Anyway, I won't be doing that again. But we don't live in a slave state, so your submission is a voluntary thing. Now, that being said, I personally feel that, as a sub or a slave, that you need to have some integrity, and you need to have some, honesty, integrity, loyalty. You need to not be playing games. You need to be serious about it. I think I've used my safe word maybe 3 times. Once for a physical reason and twice for an emotional reason. There was one time that I should have used it that I didn't use it, and my master wasn't pleased. He gave me that word for a reason, and he means for it to be used if it needs to be used. So I was pretty severely punished for that. He wanted me to know, not at the time, later when everything was okay. It was discussed, and I was pretty severely punished, and he wanted me to remember, that I'm his property, and as his property, I need to do what he wants me to do, and I need to obey him, and one of the things that he wants is for me to take care of his property. He doesn't want me damaged. He gets a lot of enjoyment out of me, and he likes me to be healthy. He mentally, physically, emotionally, he wants me to be healthy, and he doesn't want me damaged. So I think it's important that you should have a safe word. I think that it should be well discussed before you even get involved in, get back here, Mike, before you I lost my mic, before you even get involved in any kind of serious BDSM play, that it should be discussed, that that limits should be discussed and safe words should be discussed, and when it's to be used and when it isn't, and it shouldn't be used lightly. But it is important, and it is there. I mean, it is there to be used, but it shouldn't be used lightly. I've personally never used, my safe word when I shouldn't use it. If I ever did, I mean, my master would just be ballistic. I'm sure he'd probably torture me endlessly for days on end and make my life miserable. But, I wouldn't do that because I know why I have a safe word. I know when he wants me to use the safe word, and I don't take the safe word lightly. I know a lot of subs use like stop and go for a safe word. I personally don't recommend like stop and go or red light, green light, because if you're wanting to be controlled, and if you've submitted that control to somebody, and you're in a scene and you're saying red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, it's more like you're controlling the scene or the situation. I think you should have an out if things are just too much, and you don't feel safe and you don't feel well, and it's just more than you can handle. Yes, I think you should have an out. You should have that safe word that you can say, stop, enough, I need to stop. I know a lot of doms feel that once you use the safe word, the scene's over, end of story, period, it's not going on. With my master and I, we talk about it, and sometimes, things do go on, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes, maybe things will continue, but not at that point in time. I think your safe word should be a word that's easy for you to remember, and that's something that you would in no circumstance use, in play or normally. It needs to be a word that you're both going to recognize as your safe word, and a word that you're not going to use accidentally. I mean, there's not a lot that I can say about safe words that hasn't been said somewhere else before. So this is just kind of my my thoughts on it and my views and recommendations. I am very much for safe words, and my master is for safe words. I think that if you have a master or a dom that doesn't want you to have a safe word, that you should be very, very concerned and look very, very closely at that relationship and say, is this a safe and sane relationship? Is this somewhere that I really want to be? And if you're a total pain person and total control person, and you would never ever dream of using your safe word no matter what the circumstances are, then maybe you don't need one. But I don't know. I think even in that case, I think that a caring and responsible master would stand up and say, no, we need to have a safe word because you as my property need to be protected. I don't want you to be damaged. I don't want these things to be happening to you. I want you to be safe. I don't know what else to say. I guess that's all for now. If you have any questions, leave me a message. Bye for now.